espionage without communication. The majority of ninja activity was going out on a mission, gathering information, and then getting that information secretly to the person that's paying them to get the information, right? Everyone gets wrapped up in the idea that I want to go in there and, secretly stealth in and assassinate someone. Or I want to work on my stealth steps and steal something. And all that's well and good. And it's not that they didn't do that, but the majority of ninja activity, they were samurai spies. That's the best way to really paint the picture of a shinobi. They were samurai spies. They were paid to gather information so that the daimyo or their lord could then come up with the correct military strategy to infiltrate and take over more land. The more land you had, the more rice, which means the more money. That's pretty much what it comes down to, right? So there's also, I don't know where it comes from, but there's a scroll and it's written from mouth to ear. And the certain shinobi, they actually talked to the leader face to face. There wasn't anything else. There was no this person tells this person tells this person, this person tells this person. Do you know what I mean? It was that secret. And a lot of times people didn't even know who was the ninja, who was the shinobi, who was the ones that was going out doing things. Because they had shinobi that were acting like they were, but they weren't. They were what do you call those? You're acting like you're the detour, you know what I mean? You're
the decoy.
The decoy, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's just stuff like that, and people just don't really think about the importance of it. This wasn't a time where we live in an age where we're allowed to think for ourselves. We're allowed to make our own decisions. We live in a country where you can be any religion you want. You can open your own business. You can sell your own merchandise. You can create whatever you want and profit from it to take care of your family. That wasn't necessarily what it was then. It was a much more strict society as to who was what and et cetera, et cetera. Now, obviously there was merchants and stuff like that, but it was much more strict society. And someone who was living outside of that social status, you know what I mean, wasn't really looked high upon. The ninja, even in Japan, isn't like this, it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing now. It wasn't really looked at as a cool thing. I find it odd that people think the ninja was a joke, even in Japan, because the ninja was of the samurai class. They were warrior. They were bushi, And so practicing what we're doing, although the drill that you guys just practiced, you guys would probably, unless there's some sort of what is it called when the military takes over? Martial law, Unless there was something to that degree, you guys won't use a lot of these skills. But it's not about whether you guys are going to actually use them in real situations, because it's about preserving what was and learning from it and taking something that you can give to your kids. Because the reality of it is, all these arts were passed down for a reason. And the way that the country's going, it really isn't a far fantasy that it might be martial law one day. I mean, honestly, look, seriously, that might not be that far of a fantasy. That might be a very close reality, that the government just might say, fuck it, we're just going to take over everything. And if that happens, everything that you guys are doing right now will be needed. And if it doesn't happen in our life, if you guys are at least kind enough and smart enough to teach your kids, then they'll be ready. Yep. So that's what is passed down for us. It's the necessity of making sure that the people that we love can take care of themselves.